How you can make your proposal stand out with great design. That's what we're talking about today on the Biz Chat. Hey everybody, I'm Lindsey Ward.
And I'm Steve Huntington, and we are the graphic design team here at Proposify. And today we're going to look at something that is often overlooked in the creation of a proposal that stands out, its design.
And to give you a really good idea of this, we have pulled together some examples from our own clients who we put a call out to, and we're going to showcase some great tips and tricks for you to start your proposal.
Let's take a look.
So we put out a call to a big chunk of Proposify customers asking if we could take a look at their best proposal designs. Didn't really know what to expect, but the response was overwhelming. There was honestly too many to pick from, but we just tried to pick a good number that had great designs and that were really diverse. So without any further ado, we're going to start off with Chilli Sauce. Lindsey, who are Chilli Sauce?
Excellent. So Chilli Sauce is a UK-based company that creates tailored events for stag parties, corporate outings, and just kind of crazy adventure-filled weekends.
Yeah, and they sent us this proposal for their event called Big Brother Live, which is, I think it's like a corporate retreat sort of thing where they take a company to like this Big Brother type house, like the TV show, and do events with them. But yeah, so I mean, right off the bat, the cover is really engaging. Having a great cover is something that is super important in your proposal. It's sort of the first impression that your client gets when they get your proposal. This one is fantastic. I mean, right away, it's got their logo worked into this really interesting graphic with the eye, the all-watching eye of the Big Brother. Really cool. Super clean. They've used their brand colors effectively.
It kind of reinforces what the event is actually about while keeping their brand really in check.
Yeah, it's awesome. Let's take a look. And I should mention, too, we're not showing every single page of these proposals and any sensitive information, like information about money or stuff like that, we removed because obviously we don't want to give away people's trade secrets.
And also you should contact them if you want this kind of weekend for yourself.
Exactly. The design of this proposal is really, it's simple, but it's effective. It's got lots of great imagery. It's got a nice clean layout. I like that they have this page right up front that is their understanding of their client's needs. So right away they're talking about their client. They're not just bragging about themselves.
Yeah, it's really what they understand about the client, and that's really highlighted and keeping in check with their brand when you have the kind of branding color that comes into the subheading there.
I think something really important in a good design, especially when you're pitching something, is to keep things simple. Not necessarily to limit yourself, but if you've got a long proposal with a lot of text, it's a good idea to break those long passages of text up with images to give your text a lot of white space, because reading is tiring on your eyes, and you don't want your client to be tired out by reading all the things that you have to say about your company and about your pitch. So it's a good idea to kind of break things up. This proposal has a good example of that with these section cover pages, like this one right here for the event packages. It's just a nice kind of reprieve from all the information coming at you. It looks really nice. Again, it's on their brand color. It's really cool.
Again, a very simple graphic, something that you could find online on different sites that you could spend a Saturday just taking a few hours and putting together a package of graphics that you can use over and over again.
Yeah, and so the cleanliness of this proposal, I think, is really what made it jump out to us.
I think it really elevates itself by not over cluttering the space with too much text or too many pictures. It's very balanced, and that's really important to keep in mind when you have this kind of information that you need to get across.
Yeah, it's succinct. I mean, it's like that classic thing where if you try to say everything, you end up saying nothing.
Exactly.
And they definitely did not do that. They said exactly what they wanted to say. I like their pricing table. I mean, I know this is really simple, but it really actually jumped out at me a lot. It's like so simple, so readable. Obviously, we changed the information here, but it looks really nice.
But anything that you put in there, you would have the same kind of information displayed in a really concise way and very easy for somebody to read. You don't necessarily need to put too much color or too many photos in there to get your table across.
For sure. So yeah, this proposal, it wasn't, I wouldn't even say it was that short, but each page was easily digestible. And so it felt like reading it was really a breeze. Like if you look at this page right here, they had pretty much all their pages that had information. They had like a photo, like a really nice big photo, and information related to that photo. So it came across very clearly what was being communicated.
A very bold header to kind of keep you going through the proposal so you know exactly what step you're in. The summary, the pricing, getting toward the actual payment methods. It just very easy to follow.
For sure. Another awesome thing they did was they had this kind of cool little send-off page with this. Is this a pun? I don't know.
I think it's a pun. I'd call it a pun.
Yeah, there's no I in team. I mean, I love that. That's great.
Again, you're incorporating that really great graphic that you were able to make out of your branding.
For sure. And we should mention too, if you're a design agency or you're a marketing agency, you'll probably have someone on staff who can do stuff like this for you. But if you're not, it really is worth it to look into hiring a freelancer for stuff like this. And then you just have it going forward. Absolutely.
It's a one-time job, and you get really great work out of it that you can use over and over and over again to elevate your proposal.
For sure. And it's an investment, and it costs money and it takes time, but it will put you over the top. I think it give you an edge over your competition.
I think definitely.
And then just again, like a simple send-off page. All right, so that is Chilli Sauce. Let's go on to the next one.
All right, and now on to Vendek, and they are a full-service Magento partner in the field of hosting, support, and marketing.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, just a very standout cover. Really simple typography. This would be incorporated more through an imagery, bringing in the logo.
This one was interesting to me when I first saw it. I didn't really know what to think because, when you think about the cover of a proposal, you imagine it's going to have like the title and like who's sending it and who it's from and stuff. This is super minimalist. So I wasn't really sure, but then when I looked at the rest of the proposal, at least for me, I kind of was like, you know what, I kind of like it because it's a little different. It stands out. It isn't just doing what everyone else is doing.
So this cover page is really, I wouldn't ever call it cluttered. It's very simplistic design. You're using 3-4 elements max, and they really kind of drive home that crisp and clean simplicity.
For sure. It's almost like it walks that line of just being simple enough. So kudos to Vendek. And I think, this page isn't, again, like there's nothing crazy going on here, but it is a really solid design just because that cover is so simple. But they follow it up on their next page with everything that you kind of need to know right off the bat. You know who this proposal is coming from, who it's going to, the date, like the name of the project, and like a quick little breakdown. And I should mention that this is in Dutch, and I don't speak Dutch. Lindsey, do you speak Dutch?
I don't speak Dutch at all.
Yeah, so we are ignorant of the Dutch language, unfortunately. But even not being able to read Dutch, we can tell what's going on with this page, which is like a pretty good sign.
And we found that throughout the whole proposal, no matter what page you were on, even though it wasn't in a language that we could understand, because of how well it was designed and how it's laid out to clearly display the information, we knew what was going on each page.
And I like the little trick they have of having the buttons down there at the bottom that link out to their social media. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really great way to kind of drive home your company and to give people another avenue to say hello to you outside of the proposal.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't we can't play it for you right now, but incorporating a video into a proposal is a really great way to demonstrate your brand without making the proposal too long. You're able to get across more information, and it's in a really beautiful format for a proposal. It's already a well-shot video. If you have one of those, there's no harm. It could only elevate the proposal, putting it in there for people to get that little bit of extra content from you. And just a very simple send-off page. Again, we know exactly what's going on here, even if it didn't have the signature. We would understand, we're closing the proposal up. You haven't seen the rest of it because we have cut down the pages to save time as well. But the information is clean across the board, and you always know what's going on. And then having the page consistent as well with a very simple watermark in the back.
I think that this proposal is a good example of a well-designed layout not being too complicated to achieve. Like that watermark is on every page. They've got the same header with their team photo on every page, you know. And again, it's not, you don't have to go crazy. It's just being consistent and being clear with what you want to communicate.
Next up is 368, and they are a digital marketing agency. Their specialities include marketing, website, web design, branding, and brand strategy, so quite a bit there.
Yeah, for sure. This is actually kind of another one where the cover was super minimal. This one does have the information on it, but I mean, right off the bat for me, this one was interesting because it's all just pure typography, right? And it almost looks like a design book or something.
It definitely does lend itself to a design book. It's almost like a Swiss style of design, I would say.
And if you don't know what that means, that's okay.
It's totally fine.
But it's just really clean lines, good typography, lots of space around things, and a good grid system. And again, you don't necessarily need to know exactly how to do something like that. This proposal is actually a great example of one. You're going to hear us talk a lot about good photography and how that can set you apart, but you can also, if you lay out your text really well, you can get away with not a lot of photography. And this is a great example of that, I think.
There are really key design elements, and following very simple design rules, simply left aligning your text so your eye or the viewer's eye doesn't wander all over the page, keeps information in the forefront, and it doesn't convolute anything.
It sounds simple, but you know, even something simple like that can really help your client when they're reading your proposal. But yeah, this is a great example of a proposal that really, really stays on brand and uses their brand in kind of clever ways throughout, which we'll get to in a second, but let's take a look inside.
Very simple design elements, breaking up the page here. So we see that we have very important contact information to the left, and then the cover letter starting to the right. Again, not confusing your eye.
Good use of color. Yeah, and I mean, this page is a great example of something. There's a lot of text on this page, but it's like super clearly broken out, like you know exactly what each thing is. So that's what, good job. This is an example of what I was talking about before, where they kind of use their brand. I mean, their brand is just that square, which is, again, super simple. That's definitely their style, but it's effective, and they use it really nice on these super clean cover pages, so it's really cool.
Yeah, and works really well. And again, it's very simple, very well laid out.
Yep, and again, like we said, this is one that has a lot of text, so those cover pages that kind of break up the sections are a great idea to kind of give your client a break.
Even simple use of icons, they don't really have an icon that they've necessarily over-designed.
But it's on brand.
It's very on brand. It's very
simple.
Consistent.
I love this. This one really jumped out to me, this page, having their team, and again, it's really simple, but just having their team members kind of like enveloped in their logo is pretty cool.
Well, yeah, it does keep them really wrapped up in their own brand, which I think is great that they are able to do that from top to bottom with only very simple tweaks. And I love the bold send-off. I like, again, you know, putting that branding in somebody's mind at the end of the proposal, really bringing it home in a very simple, well laid out way with all of their contact information.
Yeah, I think the like kind of key attributes of this one is that it's simple and elegant.
Very elegant. Good word.
Yeah, thank you.
So Apples and Arrows are a marketing agency that help clients foster enduring relationships with their customers. They uncover, distill, and articulate their clients' unique brand stories. And I think we really see that in this proposal.
For sure. The biggest thing that you'll probably notice about this one is almost a reversal of the one we just looked at, is that they use photography in abundance, I would say.
I would say so.
But again, simple layout. They keep it consistent from page to page. So again, right off the bat, great photo, really nice typefaces, good copy too. You know, good ideas deserve to be discovered. That's nice.
And it really kind of drives home that whole brand aspect with different clients. They aren't going very literal with their photos, which I think is really great. They've kind of taken a more creative approach.
Yeah, they're almost like metaphorical.
Again, just very simple layout, the really bold heading against that kind of amazing photography. And you don't necessarily even need somebody on staff who can take these photos. There are so many free sites out there. Unsplash comes to mind, where you can get really high quality photos under the Creative Commons license and use them in your own proposal.
Yeah, so you'll notice, page to page, this layout doesn't change too much. It's got the nice big photo up top with the bold headline, the page number, and the repeater on the bottom. Super simple, super clean, but again, doesn't really need to change that much when it's effective.
And I think it's really important because this company is all about communication, and you can't help but feel communicated with when you look at this proposal. It really is speaking to you, and it's letting you know that this is about your needs as a client.
For sure. It's a creative use of photography, right? Because I talk about, taking your company to this like next level, and they've got all these like awesome photos of adventures. Makes me want to go on an adventure.
It makes me want to too, Steve.
I want to go with them somewhere on this cool bridge.
And again, just a really simple, clean send-off. You keeping in touch with that branding throughout the entire proposal. And it doesn't have the page covers that we were talking about before, but I do think your eye gets a bit of a break throughout this proposal, just starting with that heading.
For sure, yep.
So next up is Ice9. They are a Nova Scotian-based company that is a Squarespace authorized trainer, and they design websites and inbound marketing systems for businesses.
Yeah, and we're a Nova Scotian-based company too, so shout out to Ice9. So one of the things that we haven't talked about as much just yet, and I kind of wanted to save it for this one, was copy. Design isn't just the visual aspect of your proposal. It's also the way you're communicating with your client. This proposal has some really, really good copy. And again, if you're a design agency or marketing agency, you're probably going to have someone in-house who can craft that for you. But if not, it is kind of worth the investment to outsource it to a freelancer. Can write you some really snappy copy that you can use again and again in your proposals.
Again, there's a lot of different places you can kind of put that. You need a really good about page. Speaking to your own brand, there's a lot of different things that you can keep the same and use over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. So welcome to your new website, It's pretty good. It doesn't even give you a chance to not want the website.
Yeah, you're already in business just looking at this.
Yeah, exactly. One of the biggest things I noticed about Ice9's proposal was that each page seemed designed to do a specific thing. It didn't just kind of throw all the text in willy-nilly. It was like each page was designed.
It was like each page was almost its own section, the way that the text and the graphics were laid out. This proposal does a really great job of not overextending itself by having too many pages with too much information. Just a very simple header and great copy to really bring you into this page.
Another thing with this proposal that jumped out at us was that a lot of the pages don't look like traditional like proposal page designs. They're a little more, they almost look like they could be from a website or something.
Yeah, definitely. With your proposal, you're trying to communicate with your client. You're trying to get as much information across as you possibly can. I think this proposal does a really great job of that, and that the heading automatically brings you to where you are in the proposal and what you should expect and what you're going to be getting. Nothing is really hidden or hard to find.
And even something as simple as those blue check marks. I mean, if you have absolutely no experience designing anything ever, you can still find free stuff like that online. Just take, a little bit of time out of like a weekend and go online, and you can find free icons like that to really kind of just add like a little spice to your proposal.
Little proposal spice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just very simple design elements that really make this timeline work well. And it's not overcomplicated shapes. This is something you could easily build in a lot of free programs that you might have.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in this proposal. There's a lot of things going on, but I think like the creative idea with the timeline here and like some of the graphics and stuff kind of allow information to be digested a lot easier.
I think highlighting the reviews is a nice touch.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in too many proposals.
No, for sure. It's again kind of unorthodox, but it's like interesting.
It's really bringing it home in a way that doesn't necessarily look like a proposal. I mean, I would see this maybe even at the end of a book, the way it's laid out.
And I like the external link to their website. So you're reading the proposal, and then they get you to head over to the website, and then you're just kind of immersed in their ecosystem right from there.
That was one thing that we had discussed with Ice 9. A really great way for them to not oversaturate their proposals is that they leave their terms and conditions on their website for you to go and take a gander there.
Which is really a pretty cool idea because it keeps the length of the proposal down, which is, again, good. You want to keep it snappy if you can. And then they can easily update their terms whenever they want to, and they don't have to change anything in the proposal. It just gets updated on the web.
Exactly, and it doesn't overburden you with a lot of type that you would have to lay out within the proposal. Yeah, I think that was good. I love that little airplane graphic. It's just so simple.
I know.
If you can do it, or if you can find it, just incorporating something like that, it just really elevates the page, and it doesn't overclutter it as a big graphic. And now we're back to the beginning, guys. We really want to thank everybody so much for contributing their designs to our blog. They really didn't have to do that, but it was amazing to see all of the overwhelming submissions.
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing that we got such a great response. I kind of didn't expect that, but thank you very much to all these companies. This has kind of just been a quick and concise overview of the designs. If you want some more practical tips and takeaways, be sure to check out our blog post.
We get into the nitty-gritty details of design and really kind of help flesh out some ideas for you.
As well as some great resources where you can get some free downloads online and some tools to spice up your designs going forward.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We really hope you've taken away a tip or trick or two for your next proposal.
And if you want to learn more, be sure to check out our blog post on the topic. You can find it at proposify.biz/blog, or you can just click the link below in the description.
And if you like what you've seen here and want more, make sure to subscribe to the Proposify Biz Chat.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.